Majesty the Queen should be able to look forward to a spectacular year for her platinum celebrations next year, but it appears there's even more people ready to spoil what should be a tremendous celebration. Hi, good morning, Neil Sean here in the heart of London. I hope you're keeping well today, and thank you as ever for joining me. Before we go any further, I just really want to thank a particular group of people over in Canada. Now, let me just give you a huge thank you, and what an honour this must be for you over there, because, as I'm sure you're aware, the Royal Regiment of the Canadian Artillery have been, which I think is absolutely thrilling, asked to come and protect certain royal palaces over here in the United Kingdom for Her Majesty the Queen to celebrate their 150th anniversary. Now, I think that is something to truly celebrate. We owe the ladies and gentlemen of these particular contingents so much, as I often say, simply because, of course, they helped fight in 2 world wars, and Her Majesty the Queen in her 95th year coming up really wanted to send a huge thank you out as they have their own celebrations, as I say, of 150 years. So as ever, Canada, we truly salute you and thank you so much for sending over those people to protect our glorious Majesty the Queen. We must point out that they're over here from the 4th of October to the 22nd of October, and not only that, they will be taking part in the official changing of the guard out at Buckingham Palace. How thrilling for all of those that are taking part, and as I say, it's truly magical to welcome you here to the United Kingdom. I may just pop down and say hello, who knows. Now back as ever to your royal story coming out of London today. As we know, Her Majesty the Queen can look forward to a very busy year next year. Not that she's not busy now, but in her platinum year they have lots of big celebrations ready to roll, and I for one can't wait to look forward to those. But not only do we have to now look forward to the book by the prince that was born and now the man he's become, all that thing from Prince Harry, but also we can look forward to yet another book, this time from a former magazine editor, Tina Brown. Now, Tina Brown was an editor way back in the 1980s when, of course, magazine editors were feared, if you remember that, simply because celebrities wanted to be in the magazines, and of course if you weren't in the magazines you weren't anything. Then she went on to be the editor of Vanity Fair, and now this time around she's decided, oh wow, by the same company that of course Prince Harry is aligned with, Penguin Books, to release the Palace Papers. Now, what's interesting I find with Miss Tina Brown, and I've met her very briefly, is she's one of those sort of fearsome, forceful ladies that feels she still has some power. As I say, I think that departed on the last tube in 1989. But these people, of course, forget that digital has taken over, and really their powerful moves in those sort of marketplaces aren't what they were. What's interesting to note also is apparently she's going to be looking into all facets of the British royal family. I love the way these sort of magazine people and of course the book publishers dress it up as if you're going to be finding out something that you don't already know. The one thing that I do find fascinating about this whole project is this. You can tell the sort of book it's going to be when you simply look on Miss Brown's Twitter page, because as her top banner picture she has none other than Oprah Winfrey. And not only that, she has another connection too. That is, she is the sometime royal contributor to the CBS News channel. So, as we've seen already from CBS earlier this year, they don't seem particularly royalist, when you also look at the fact that this was the channel that signed up and of course played out internationally the Oprah Winfrey interview with Harry and Meghan. Now, one might say, well, people just sign to things and all that sort of stuff. I get it, yes. But when you also check into Miss Brown's picture guide, she seems to be pictured with Oprah quite a lot. So I, for one, am not expecting a very easy-going book on our British royals. But what I always say to people who are buying these books, whether it be Finding Freedom or the latest Chronicles, whatever, because Tina wrote those books about the Diana Chronicles, which at that time, kind of more or less pre-internet, we took as folklore. Make of that what you will. But when you have to sort of interview ex-royal servants and things like that, what you have to remember is you have to take their word for it, simply because they're not necessarily in a highly paid job and they sniff money. Now, if magazine editors and book publishers have money to throw away, you have to then decide whether the ex-royal servant who may have left under a cloud is actually telling the truth, or more importantly, is it just making up a good story? The publishers seem to think that when the book is published in April, that they're onto a surefire winner. But with a crowded market, which includes Tom Bower's book on Meghan Markle, I'm not so sure. Let me know, as ever, what you think in the comments below. Neil Sean in the heart of London.